Mm-mm-mm. My. I cannot wait to get you screwed into the mount. I'm so excited. You hear me, buddy? Oh, excuse me while I talk to the folks. Sorry, I forgot I had this important meeting. Yeah, when I just saw that. But yes, this is my the big buck that I shot this year. Biggest buck of my life. Can't wait to get her on the wall, baby. But gotta get it on the mount first before it does go on the wall. Just got it until the mount's ready. Y'all know the whole thing. Hey everybody, Tyler Redmond. Welcome back to Hunter Ridge Outdoors. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I wanted to go ahead and do it today. I mean, like all the days I got, I just want to go ahead and do it. But today is going to be a like a throwback episode again in our throwback flashback series of videos. I am normally not the hunter that is only fixated on certain bucks in the property. Although if I do see one and it's around for a year or two, and there are plenty that I have been, I'm all about wanting to get one. Especially all three of my big bucks that are hanging on the wall. Basically my eye is on them that whole year. And I've been so blessed to kill all three of these nice bucks. The big 8-pointer, the big 9-pointer, and then this big 8-pointer, basically the biggest buck of my life most likely. The same year I shot these deer, they were on camera that same year. But there was a particular deer that hung around for 3 years. And that's another story thing I love. You know, I like to have stories on certain deer that I shoot. And you see people like Seek One, Realtree, the best hunting shows on the planet. They have stories with bucks that they've gotten on camera. And of course, depending on how long they've had it on camera. But today, we're going to talk about this deer right here. And you say, Tyler, that's such a beautiful picture. Thank you, I took it. No, yes, I did, but no, I'm just messing with you. But this particular buck you see, that is behind my house. Took that picture with my mom's Copex Nikon camera, and this was, well, basically, so okay, go back to 2018, the first year I noticed this buck behind the house. Like I said, it was in my early stages of hunting. And I made in my mind I was wanting to go after a big buck. And I'm not talking about a monster over 140 inches only or something like that. I'm talking a buck way bigger than anything I'd taken. Because at that time I made that decision, I've only killed 2 bucks in my life at that time. And the biggest one was this little yearling or 2-year-old basket rack size 7-pointer on the wall here. So I was like, I want to go after a big buck. So Dad was like, alright buddy, you up for the challenge? Because sometimes folks, you know it can be hard to chase those smart bucks. And as my buddy Mr. Greg that went on to be with Jesus, his saying, and it's still true, and everybody else will say it. These big bucks didn't get that big to be that stupid, right? So 2018, like I said, I was wanting to go after the big bucks. I noticed this buck with some other ones on camera. I just fell in love of the characteristics on this buck. The tall rack on him, basically, to say it that way. I'd say he was at least 2 or 3.5 years old at the time. I was thinking he was 3.5. Most likely was, but he was a super tall 8-pointer. And I'll give you more pictures and more stories about it. But let me go ahead right now and show you some more pictures of this deer from 2018. Okay, so you've got the gist of it now. So this buck was in the summer pattern. And literally, right before deer season, I mean literally, they just vanished. That buck and his group, gone. Like that. And I was like, wow. Well, the buck didn't show back up, or that big buck didn't show back up until October. And he done shed his velvet and everything, so that was a month after deer season started. First time he showed up since then on camera. And, long story short, didn't see him for another 2 months. So basically, he's gone through most of deer season, and not long at all before the end of deer season, literally just days before the end of deer season of that year, he finally showed back up. But not only that, y'all take a look at these pictures right here. You see all those? Those were a lot of big bucks, just all of a sudden like that. All of a sudden, from seeing no big bucks on camera to all of a sudden, bam, there they are. That bachelor group is back together. And this wasn't this big buck was with them. This was a whole different group of bigger bucks. I'm talking on my lands. They were huge bucks. But this buck, a couple days later, showed up right at dark. If I was out there, I could have shot him. But you'll notice in this picture or two coming up, this buck came back, not only with his rack, of course with his rack, but he was young, and he happened to miss a few points due to fighting in the rut. Okay, so you saw that. My dad looked at me and said, Tyler, he said, it's up to you, buddy. He said, are you sure you want to shoot him with those points missing? So basically, without those points, he is basically a 6-pointer. But, I mean, like this one. Right now, this buck's got 6 points on him. I think. If you don't count this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's pretty much how it was. But, and I have some more pictures coming up for you of that buck right after deer season ended in January of 2019. Here it is. Okay, so you saw those now. So you saw which points he lost. Now, 2019, I'm really getting into it. Putting the mineral out, wanting to get these bucks in there, and bam, 2019, he is in there, baby. Now here's the thing, I was looking for this particular buck again. But this year, or no, excuse me, on this year right here, 2019, he got a little bit more width in him. Yes, he was still very tall, but he had more height of antlers in 2018, but now he got a tad more width in him because he's mature now, pretty much a 4.5-year-old buck. And these pictures coming up, you've got to see these, and some videos that I took of them on this day right here out in the soybean field. This is just unreal. I don't know exactly what that sound is behind me. But gosh, look at him, would you? Folks, they're heading close to my Bacon J Cube and Baby Square Liquid. Okay, so y'all got that. So I'm looking at what they're doing, paying attention and all that. So this buck and that other huge 8-pointer you saw that I nicknamed the Hoss, because my grandpa called him that. I mean, that was a Hoss of a buck. But I was wanting to kill this one because this is one I had on camera for now, make that a year now. Okay? So that group stays and stays. Once deer season arrived, they're still there. So I'm like, hey, that's good. At least they're not gone like they did last year. Well, here's the thing. They're only nocturnal now. And they started disappearing, like I said, late September again. And no sign of him or anything. I'm just hunting. Like I said, hunting basically for a big buck, bigger than anything I killed. Then, fast forward to later November, during the rut, he comes back. Okay, you saw those pictures now. So he's back. But what I've noticed, and he does this the same year, the next year as well, he only shows up pretty much once or twice at the most, in November, or during September and January. He only shows up 2 times during that period, and it's in November. And so he's there checking out those does and stuff. Find out next year, he's back. Bigger than ever. And folks, at this point, I'm assuming he is at least definitely a 130s or 140s class buck. And with some more videos and pictures coming up, this buck is bigger than ever, and we are on him more than ever. There he is, folks. Look at that big fat rascal. Wow, holy moly. Hashtag, we're coming after you, big boy. Gosh. You can hear all the water. Today's one of the miserable days. Okay, deer season's here. He's in there, but I don't think we really got much sign of him on camera when deer season started. I really can't remember if he disappeared or something like that. But anyways, this is basically the next 2 parts are the biggest topics of this whole journey or story of this buck. And by the way, any of y'all wondering, did I have a nickname for him? Yes. I called him Big Boy. Simple as that. Big Boy. And basically, well, I mean, you know, any buck is considered a big boy. That a lot of hunters say and stuff like that. Like say, hey, you know a big boy, he'll be the, you know what I'm saying? But I literally called him Big Boy because my buddy Greg said that about him, and I'll tell you. And now, this year, and that year in 2020, this buck is not just an 8. He grew another point, so he's now a 9-pointer. So at the time, this was during COVID. We weren't going to church or anything due to COVID and everything. I was driving on the golf cart. And like I said, soybean field is grown, tallest it'll ever get. And I happen to look, and I see this buck's rack, literally 20 yards from me. He hears me coming down the gravel on the golf cart. All I see is his rack. I immediately took off on the golf cart, told my dad. I immediately went in panic mode almost. That buck was bedding there all afternoon for the next 3 or 4 days. So me and my buddy Greg decided to come up with a game plan. He explained to me, what do I need to do? Since hunting in the woods is not going to do much of anything right now, that buck, his pattern now, in deer season, September, he's bedding in the soybean field. So, make that Thursday, I think. No, Tuesday or Thursday, I can't remember. One of those days. Like I said, every day since Sunday, he's been jumped out of that bed due to somebody going down the gravel or, you know, somebody spooking him. But he's in there all afternoon. He is comfortable as all get out. That's his bedroom right there. So I try to come up with a game plan. There were high chances this wasn't going to work, but I really wanted to try it and see how close I could get to this big buck. Y'all take a look at what happens next. Alright, folks. We're gonna go for broke. Here goes nothing. Well, folks, this is it. I don't know how well this is going to work, but I know one thing: it does not hurt at all giving it a shot. So, folks, as you can see, I get behind the soybean field, glass with the binoculars, although you cannot see the binoculars, but I'm trying to find his antlers sticking out of the soybean field where he's bedding. I don't see him at the point, but still, I'm going to attempt my first spot and stalk on a monster buck I've been after for 2 years, called Big Boy. Once I get behind Grandpa's red barn, the crawling stops, and it's time to go for broke. The spot and stalk is on, and I get up, knowing where Big Boy's probably at, and I get my bow ready, and I'm going to have it drawn all the way from here at this point until I can hopefully get a shot at Big Boy. Well, folks, as you can see, it is not that easy holding your bow for so long, especially when you're moving a lot, trying to stalk up on a big buck, bedding in the middle of the day for several days in a row in a soybean field. As you just seen, I couldn't hold my bow that long, or for some reason it just undrawn back on me. It just went back to normal all of a sudden. So, as you can see, I had to give it the last shot. And from here on out, this is the longest time I've had to hold my bow drawn to kill a deer. Folks, as I start walking into the soybean field, I'm expecting for the big buck to either stand up and try to look for where the noise is coming from, or lightly, of course, jump off and run away. But as I start making the noise in the leaves, I'm expecting for Big Boy to start hearing and maybe get a shot at this joker. But I'm aiming at his bed where he's been for the last several days in a row. Folks, I'm pretty sure you can see where Big Boy and other deer have been bedding for a long time, and yep, he's not in his bed.
He's not in here. Well,
Folks, watch very carefully right here. Big Boy jumps out from another bed I had no idea he would be in.
Oh, here he goes. There he went. Oh my gosh.
Well, folks, look very carefully again. You can see Big Boy running away right there. What a shame. Well, my plans did not go as planned. And folks, I didn't know at the time, but after Big Boy had run off, I thought he was the only deer that ran out, but my grandpa saw another buck run with him. What a shame. Wow. Okay, that got interesting, didn't it? That was my first attempt on anything, spot and stalk, literally in my backyard or behind our houses. So that buck runs off. We go the next day, try to do it again, but I go to where that buck ran into the woods when I spooked him the day before. No luck. Okay? Buck's gone. He realizes, okay, I'm not coming here no more. So, he did show up on camera one more time in the next few weeks after that. In October, he come upon a mock scrape I made. I think it was a mock scrape. Yeah, I can't remember. Something like that. And he just hung around. Okay, y'all saw that. Now, he does the same thing. Comes back in November a couple times. I go hunting for him one of those evenings because he came in there right at dark, literally 5:30, right at almost last shooting light. I went and didn't see him, but he was in there the night before, so that's where I went. And wow, another turn of events of that. And folks, I hate to break it to you, spoiler alert, the story does not end as well as I definitely hoped for of this buck. 2021, he's back. But, well, actually, early 2021, I noticed him without any antlers. Well, why? Big body. It always stuck out to me where his where the shoulder is, basically right here on the deer, where you got the hair sticking right there, the chest literally. His was sticking out pretty good, like a big old line of hair through his right there between both shoulders. So I knew it had to be him. Big body. But one thing I noticed, a giant, swollen, most likely tumor on his leg, on his right rear leg. That changed everything. So he shows up that year, starts growing his horns again. He's with some other bucks. He's with a big 8-pointer. That was real nice. And I was wanting to go after that buck. Well, still, I wanted to go after Big Boy. I was after him. But you'll notice in these next few pictures what that tumor ended up causing. Y'all watch this. Well, 6.5 years old, I knew that was the biggest he was going to get, but that changed everything when that area came on his leg. So basically the biggest he ever got was 5 years old, thanks to the tumor, caused that one rack to be all goofed up, messed up, whatever you want to call it. And sad part about this is that during the summer, and no, I'm not talking about deer season, I'm talking about late July, he just vanished. Literally vanished from the entire bachelor group. And that was it. So, what a story that was. And I'm sorry, I know that sounds horrible. Basically, you guys get the gist of probably what happened. I believe most likely that buck ended up going somewhere and just dying peacefully. Or who knows, he might have got hit by a car. But if it was natural causes, it had to be that tumor. Might have been cancer, who knows. But what a story this was to go after a buck like this. Not a buck of a lifetime, but here in this area might be once in a lifetime chance. But that was a big buck. And you know what? I often think about this sometimes. But yeah, that buck just literally just vanished from the group. And if it was by natural causes, I have a gut feeling it was from the leg, and he just went on and died. And later that year, I started going after that wide, nice 8-pointer. But unfortunately, I made 2 shots on him, and we never did recover him, and I was sick as a dog. I mean, I was disgusted. Big time. And, but I wanted to show y'all how interesting that was. That was my first real story on hunting a big buck that was there for 3 years behind my house. And you know what? I've had bucks come behind my house that they also did my grandpa's old house too. Why is that? Well, it's just a mile or a mile and a half away. Easy as pie for the deer to walk here and back. But this deer claimed behind my house his home. That buck, of course, went somewhere during the fall. Only came back a couple times during the rut. He had a fall core home or core area, but the real home area or core area for him was back here. Never, ever, ever saw him in another hunting property really close. That was something else though. But wow, what a story. From spotting this deer 2 years later, spotting, stalking this same deer, literally behind my house. And y'all literally saw the entire area the beans had died. That's where he was originally bedding. And he popped up in another area. I had no idea he would. 20 yards more out further, actually. And then next year, he just vanished. But Seek 1, I'm going to tell you guys, I love to watch Seek 1 and them killing those giants. I mean, that's just unreal. I think Seek 1, to be honest, is probably the #1 most popular hunter or hunting channel right now. Seek 1 has just, oh my gosh, ever since they joined Realtree, it is just, Seek 1 has exploded. And it's awesome. Because they always, and you know what they said? They said, every buck we see, we'd love to have a story with them, if each one they harvest. And in this case, I had a story on this one, but the Lord had a different plan. And it was God's will, not meant to be. And that is, honestly, 100%, I am more than happy with that. Because look at all these deer I've been blessed to harvest. I mean, in this season, y'all know that, this season's just been unreal. And like I said, this right here, Hunter Ridge Outdoors never even existed. But now, I get to show you guys the story of this buck. And, thought I wanted to share that with you guys. I knew that would be cool to hear a story of a certain deer around the area. Like I said, if it's a deer I know that's in there, or that's in there all year, or in there for a year or more, and I realize that buck, I'm going to go after him and see what he's up to. But I'm not one of those guys that are searching for bucks to start a story on. I mean, that's just not me, because I think that kind of takes the real meaning of hunting out of you. Nothing bad. There's nothing bad at all. I'm just not the one to, you get what I'm saying, but, hey, it's what I love to do. I love to go hunting. Hey, it would bring me just enough joy to kill a giant buck that I'd never seen before as it would to take a buck I've been seeing. But luckily, I've just been blessed to kill the 3 biggest bucks of my life I've had on camera that year. And, that's another episode I will have to get on another day. Maybe I'll do that here real soon. It might be the next video. You never know. Like the big 8-pointer. The big 8-pointer I shot. He was one of those. Like I said, I was going to shoot any big buck, any of those big bucks, because they were bigger than anything I killed. Not only Big Boy was probably my #1 hit list. Well, #1 on my hit list. But if that 8-pointer comes out, I was going to shoot him. But that 8-pointer came out, God blessed me with him. He was one of those that traveled from my grandpa's old house and back. But I ended up killing, he was actually, that big 8-pointer was actually, his summer range or main home area was over at my grandpa's old house. At the summertime with a lot of other big bucks. Bucks bigger than him actually. But I ended up killing him back here in his fall core area right behind my house. But enough talking for me. I need to get a break. I'm sure you guys are done hearing me talk about it. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. Trust me, plenty more videos to come. Even though deer season's over with, it won't be back till September. That doesn't mean we can't talk anymore about deer hunting. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.